Bitcoin's worst case scenario is that it could go from the top of this channel here and crash all the way down to the bottom of that green channel, precisely as it's done before. What would that mean for Bitcoin? Which price would it be? And when would it happen? All of that and more right here in today's video. If you're new here, welcome in. My name is Steve, and on this channel, we do things differently. We stand out from the crowd. When everyone goes left, we're going right, and we're basing it all on the facts in the charts. If you like facts in the charts, you're gonna love this channel. Hit that subscribe button and welcome in. So on today's video, we're gonna talk about Bitcoin on the 2-week chart. And what we have here is a beautiful channel on the bottom that we're going to discuss at length, because Bitcoin could fall all the way to the bottom of it, precisely as we did in 2015. And we fell to the bottom of the channel in 2015 as the channel was pointing down, precisely as it's doing today. And we were up at the top of this channel back in 2015, right before we fell to the bottom of the channel. So what would this mean for Bitcoin, a crash all the way to the bottom? As I've said many times, Bitcoin could retest its base, and this is Bitcoin's base. So what would it look like? And by the way, at the end of today's video, I'm going to talk about something very controversial. It may stir up some ruckus in the comments because I have very strong opinions on this, but we'll get to it a little bit later. So this beautiful green channel represents some of the best buying opportunities for Bitcoin. And this is not my opinion. This is not us flipping a coin or hoping for the best. It's just the cold hard facts. If you look at this green channel back here in 2015, these were all of the best months to buy Bitcoin, plain and simple. Same in this 2018 period. Although short-lived, these were all of the best months to buy Bitcoin during 2018. If you fast forward to the COVID crash, these are the best candles that you should have bought Bitcoin in. Case in point, where are we today? We're inside of this channel. So if you're wondering, hey, should I be buying Bitcoin or should I be selling Bitcoin? What should I be doing? Pretty sure the facts are very clear right in front of you. If you were in this green channel, it's time to pay attention. You can go all the way back to the early days of Bitcoin in its first ever bear market in 2011. In this green channel, these candles right here were the best times to buy Bitcoin, plain and simple. And then we started holding the green channel as support, and then we went up to this median line, and the rest is history. Another little trick of this chart is anytime you break this white line, that's when the bull run really heats up. That's when the parabolic top starts. Case in point, look at the trajectory of the candles here versus the trajectory of the candles here. Even with the naked eye, it's night and day difference. Now look at the next level of market cycle. Here we are coming up to our white line, right? And as soon as we breach this white line, that's when our absolute parabolic top started. So this chart has a lot of little hidden bells and whistles. And then in our most recent from 2018, coming up here, when we breached this top, that was our parabolic top, but we got rejected from this red line. So you can see that where we are now is right inside of this green channel. The green channel is pointing down. The top of this channel is at roughly 26.4K. So we've been inside of this channel now for a total of 19 months or 266 days inside of this channel, which is similar to the time that we were in it previously in 2015. We were in it a total of 294 days or 21 bars. The only difference is what's happening today is we didn't quite have the parabolic top that would have preceded that 2015. But we're in this green channel, and what we can see is with this next chart that we have our worst case scenario. And I want to talk about price. I want to talk about projection. I want to talk about the facts in this chart. So we have all of the facts in front of us. We can analyze the data and make a sound decision of what we believe Bitcoin is getting ready to do in terms of its worst case scenario based on the facts in the charts. So in front of us, we have the fractal pattern of 2015 on this side, and we have the fractal pattern of present day here. And we've showed this chart before. It's mind-boggling. But when we had the cross down from this yellow line through the red, what we've noticed is that we've had 3 distinct rejection points and then an explosion of price. It was the same exact fractal pattern in 2015. Breakthrough, 3 distinct denial points, and then a blast through with price. What we noticed after the blast through of price is we had a retest of our base. In fact, if you dig in a little bit further, and this is where things get really cool, is our first rejection point ended up being the exact resistance level of our breakthrough. And it happened precisely around the same amount of days. About 170 days from this data point, we entered here. And it was the exact same rejection point. Now, present day, if we zoom in here, this is our first rejection point. We just rallied up to precisely that level and got rejected about 170 days later. Pound for pound, move for move. A lot of people say, hey, this time is different. Hey, we can't compare. Hey, we have what's happening with inflation. We have what's happening with China. We have what's happening with Russia. The world today is different. We can't compare. The facts are the facts. Men lie, women lie. The charts don't lie. We've been inside and repeating history of the fractal pattern of 2015 for months and months and months. Luckily for you, we've been covering it for months and months and months. So you have been well prepared for how this has played out, right? And you will be well prepared for how it's going to play out after into the future, because we have the facts in the charts. So what happened after this is we had a retest of here. We had some resistance and we had a plummet in prices. Now the news will make up whatever they want to create some story for you, but it's here right in front of you. Now, if we take those facts with this fact, we understand that in 2015, we actually just came back down to retest our base. We came back down to retest this green line. So where is this green line right now? The green line right now is at roughly, and keep in mind, these are moving averages, so they're moving continuously, but it's at roughly 14.8, 14.9K. So as we said, it's likely that the bottom is in. We're going to potentially come back down and retest our base, but it's looking like the worst case scenario is we'll go a little bit lower than our previous low, but still maintain our market structure. It's still just coming down to retest our base, plain and simple. The bottom is still in, nothing has changed, but the key is it's likely that that final flush out, if it were to happen, this is the worst case scenario, it would literally be the last chance to buy Bitcoin before we enter the bull market. That's the way the charts are setting up. Those are the facts that I've studied on the multiple charts that we look at from many, many different angles. It's looking like that final flush out, if we were to retest our base, it would be the final flush out, and then we would be entering our bull run. That's the way the charts are lining up right now. And again, nobody knows if we're going to come back down and retest our base. It's just the way that the charts are lining up now. It's definitely a possibility. And in terms of a probability, it's looking like the way that the bearish divergence is playing out, that could break. Also right above our head is critical resistance that we've been showing weakness on. Candles getting smaller, rejection candles here for a period of time. The longer we stay at this level and not break through this red line here, which is the 200-week moving average, the higher the probability that we're going to see some stronger rejection. Now the news will make it up and they'll say it's because of China and Russia, and they'll say all these things and they'll get you to buy into it. But the facts are the facts. It could get ugly in the month of March, but by May, June, July, Bitcoin should be in a very good position. That's the way the charts are lining up. Here are the facts. Hit that subscribe button. Now I want to get into something controversial. So I have a son. As you know, he just turned 4. So this topic of school has come up quite a bit. And, you know, I went to school. I graduated high school. Then I got my associate's degree in college. And then I got my bachelor's in college and all that fun stuff. But now that I'm a little bit older, I look at the landscape of the world. I think the school systems are very broken. Now, I apologize if you're a teacher. This is not a knock on you. In fact, you would probably admit you think the school system is probably broken too, but you would also probably admit you can't change much about it because your states are making the rules, the governments are making the rules, the principals making the rules, and you guys have to follow them. You can't really change a curriculum too much out of the ordinary, right? So for me, it's this situation where Number one, school is not teaching anybody about money. First and foremost, money is so important on planet Earth. Everything you do costs money. But why aren't they teaching about it? Why aren't they teaching about investing? Just money altogether. They expect you to, you graduate, you have to buy a house. How? It's so complex, all the paperwork. Nobody teaches you about that. Then you have to buy a car. Oh my God, that's complex. Then you have to like live. You have to pay money to live, but money is not taught. But beyond that, if you break school down into its simplest form, and I'm talking about this because I'm really contemplating, do I send my son to school? I've been fortunate enough to have a private teacher for him, but I don't know about the school. I love it for the social. Love it. When I think about school, when I think about all my memories, it's all fun with friends. But even that is limited in school because it's all about, memorizing a whole bunch of facts and then regurgitating it in a multiple choice test, which is meaningless. So I have very strong opinions on school. I have strong opinions on this topic, so I apologize, but I want to break it down in a simple way. There's two really reoccurring things that occur in school where it's highly stressed. Number one are essays. How many essays did you write as a kid? Can you remember like all these essays, right? Essays all through high school, essays all through college, tons of essays, all different kinds of essays. But then if you look back at your life, you're probably around my age, right? How many essays have you written after you got out of school? What? None, right? So if essays are the skill that school is pushing, essays, you would think like at your workplace, you're writing an essay one per week and you're getting graded on that essay and your raises are based on that essay. That would make sense. In life, I would say, okay, I agree that schools should teach essays if it's a skill that we're using in life. How about multiple choice tests? Now, in school, we take a lot of multiple choice tests. High school, a lot. College, more. Everything is a multiple choice test, which means you open a book, you try to memorize a bunch of stuff, and then you try to pick the right answer. But life doesn't work that way. Imagine you're at your work and they're like, hey, this week, multiple choice tests. And by the way, we're going to grade it and your raise is based on that. It just doesn't happen. School is really focused on these multiple choice tests and essays. Those two skills are not useful as you get older. Money, very useful. Investing, really, really useful. Not taught. It's not one of those skills. It's not even in the top 10. It's not even in the top 100 of skills that are taught. But these top two skills, I don't see much use in them. And if you want to take it further, like the skills that are useful in life should be the skills that are focused in school. That's where I stand. I have a lot of other strong opinions about school, but I've been really thinking about not sending my son to school. I really love it for the social, and we can get him social in other ways. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, I like to go against the grain in pretty much every aspect of my life, and I've been doing it since I was a little kid. So the school thing, I'm not with it. And I know there's a lot of different types of schools, etc., etc. But in the US, I don't know about where you live, but the US, the school systems are really focused on these standardized tests because that is the grades of the school for that standardized test dictate how much money they're going to get from the government. So they spend the whole curriculum focusing on these standardized tests so that the government can give them more money and then they can give the teachers more money, etc., etc. Which the teachers obviously deserve a lot more money, but they should have more freedom of how they teach and what they teach. But there's just not enough freedom given to teachers to do it the way they want and to really take the current curriculum and throw it away. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm wrong, but I certainly haven't written any essays since I've gotten out of college. And I certainly haven't taken a lot of multiple choice tests on a daily or weekly basis since getting out of college. My life hasn't been based on these tests. It's not like, oh, Steve, you can get food at the supermarket if you pass this standardized test. Oh, Steve, you can buy a house if you write an essay. Oh, Steve, you want to take out a student loan if you write an essay. Oh, you want to buy a car? I'll let you buy the car if you write this essay. That's just not how life is. If it was, I would agree. Hey, let's write essays. Let's focus on them. But it's not the way I see it. I'm sorry if you're a teacher. This is not meant against you. I support teachers all the time. I just don't support the curriculum that you're forced to teach. Let me know in the comments down below. I do not think I'll ever send my kid to school. I don't think so. And maybe I will be ridiculed for that, but I don't like to go the way the herd goes. So I'm going to go my own way, and there's no better teacher in the world than me. That's a fact. And I've been very blessed and lucky to achieve some success. I've been studying successful people for more than 20 years. There's no better person to teach him than me. And, you know, he has a private teacher on top of me and play groups and things for social. So I don't know. It's a strange topic that's not discussed enough. I know I'm just supposed to bite the bullet and send him to school so I can fit in, but I'm not about fitting in. So let me know in the comments down below. Sorry for the controversial topic. This is probably going to create some ruckus in the comments, but I just want to be really open and pure, because you might be a parent and you might be thinking about something similar to what I just said, and maybe we can have a discussion about it. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs. Do you want to know when to buy and when to sell? Click this video right now.